What's up, everybody? It's ERG Apollo, and welcome to a first. I've never done something like this before by myself. I've attempted it with another person, but due to personal and technical issues, the series can continue. If you've read the title of this video, this is the first episode of Shin Megami Tensei Persona 2 Innocent Sin. And if you're looking at the episode length, it's a fucking chonker. It's a absolutely massive lad of a part. That won't be the standard. This first episode is almost an hour long because it goes not super far in, but it goes up to right before the first battle. So I wanted to get, all of that out of the way. From here, episodes should be like 30 minutes to 45 minutes in length, depending. So it won't be this long. But yeah, and this is also being done in post-commentary. I've never done something like this, by myself. So please bear that in mind. My commentary probably isn't going to be as funny or as, off the wall. It'll probably be a bit more informative because, I'm talking about what I'm doing and what's going on. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start the video in 3, 2, 1, go. So the way I put this together is I had to cut it around a little bit, but the PS1 intro is going to play first, and then we'll watch the PSP intro, and then we'll get started. So, I guess to give a little background, Persona 2 Innocent Sin is the second title in the Persona series, which is a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off. And if we're going to get technical, Shin Megami Tensei is technically a spiritual successor spin-off series to Megami Tensei, I think. Fact of the matter is, you've probably heard of Persona, but this isn't Persona 3, 4, or 5. This is a much different kind of Persona, and it's more of the kind of Persona that I like, personally. But, anyways, Innocent Sin is the first half of the Persona 2 duology, which, as we all know, has the most unfortunate release schedule or release history ever, as we didn't get the original PS1 version of Innocent Sin here in the States until this very PSP remake in 2011, I think, is when that came out. Consequently, though, we didn't get the PSP version of Eternal Punishment. We did get the PS1 version of Eternal Punishment, though. And as, compensation for the fact that Atlus didn't localize the PSP version of Eternal Punishment, they did re-release the PS1 version on the PlayStation Store. Which, while it might not sound like much, that might sound like more of a backhanded thing, physical copies of Eternal Punishment go for hundreds of dollars. So, it's honestly not the worst situation, especially considering Eternal Punishment's localization was handled a hell of a lot better than the original games. There's a few weird things in there because they had to continue the script off of the first game, but that's stuff we'll talk about when we get to Eternal Punishment. But yeah, Innocent Sin is... I will go way more in depth to this as we go through the Let's Play, but Innocent Sin is a very complicated game. Not mechanically, I would say, but I think story-wise, I think Innocent Sin, there's a lot to it, right? And you can't... I don't think, without making a long-form video specifically talking about the story, I don't think you can really summarize what Innocent Sin is about. Because it deals with a lot. From... I lost my train of thought for a second. Because I just got caught up in, watching the intro. I really like the PS1 intro while we're on that, actually. I think it's really good. I like the song. I think the atmosphere it provides is really cool. I do like the PSP version's intro a bit more because Unbreakable Ties is a fucking bop, which we're probably going to hear in the next couple of seconds. But, Innocent Sin's story has a lot of layers and a lot of details to it. From the character-specific arcs to the actual, events around the world and the things that cause it. So it's not really a game that is conducive to, a 10-minute summary, a fucking 2 or 3 minute summary and a 5-minute review. So it's I think you get what I'm saying. It's a very complicated game, and That's kind of what I love about it. It's not like a cut and dry plot. It also helps that it's fucking fantastic. The story in Innocent Sin is so good. There's just, like I said, there's a lot, but it's all really good. And I'm really excited to dive into it. Actually, I can't wait for us to actually get to like the real meat and potatoes of playing Innocent Sin, because as much as I love the story, I want to talk about it in this first episode, but I can't talk much about it, right? Because spoilers, and you know, as old of a game as Innocent Sin is, I don't really want to spoil it, because it's not like, for me, I won't outright spoil something. If you tell me don't tell me about this, I won't say anything. But like, my thing with spoilers is like, if it's like a hugely culturally relevant, majorly popular, huge game, like something like Final Fantasy VII, I think you can't blame someone for spoiling you on Final Fantasy VII's story, especially nowadays, because it's just such a huge thing that you probably would have played it by this point. But anyways, Innocent Sin again. The title screen. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, I did not do the best job cutting that out. That was me rearranging the intros so that the PS1 version would play first. My bad. I should hopefully get better about editing and cutting things around as the game progresses. Lord knows I probably hung around on one too many text boxes for a bit too long in this first episode. But yeah. So here we're introduced to our protagonist. His canon name is Tatsuya Suo. You can name him whatever you like, and you can even give him a nickname. In all my time playing Innocent Sin, I've never actually changed his name or his nickname. I don't really know why. I like the story, and I would like for the characters to refer to Tatsuya as Tatsuya, I suppose. Take a sip of some brink tea. And we don't... Innocent Sin wastes no time in terms of introducing the more supernatural and like Persona-ish elements, because already it's like, boom, we're getting contact. You already know something's up. Man, it's kind of wild. Innocent Sin, it doesn't start super fast gameplay wise, but it does throw a lot at you in terms, not a lot, but it throws more at you within the first 45 minutes of the game than I think most Persona games do, because it usually takes till about maybe an hour or so into the game for you to really get into the meat and potatoes. Actually, I think that might only be the case for 4, now that I think about it. Because you start seeing weird shit right away in 3, and then Persona 5's prologue and everything. I promise, I'm not going to spend the entirety of Innocent Sin shitting on the modern trilogy. Believe it or not, I do actually love every entry of this series quite dearly. I just have more of a preference for Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment than the modern stuff. So, Principal Hanya, I think he was a character in Persona 1. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've actually played all the way through Persona 1. Not that I hate the game, it's just... It requires more convincing for me, because it's a weirdly complicated game when it didn't really need to be. And we'll talk about that when I get around to doing Persona 1. But Innocent Sin is much, I guess, faster in that regard. Yeah, so I'm trying to find my train of thought here, because I've never done this before, so I'm trying to run through my head about what's some, like, episode 1 stuff you do in a solo post-commentary let's play. But I guess, for text boxes, I wanted to try and hang on them long enough so that everyone could get a chance to read them. So that I don't sit here and interrupt my commentary every 5 seconds by, like, reading the text box. And I don't know right now, while I'm in the middle of recording this, if I did a good job balancing that. So, let me know in the comments or on Twitter or on Discord, whether or not I did a good job. If I stayed on one box for particularly too long, if I noticed that in editing, I did try to cut that down. And that's actually another thing. If you hear the music randomly, reset in the middle of the video, you're watching the cutscenes, a text box appears, and then, the very next frame, the music sounds different, that's because I hung on the box and I had to cut it out. Why am I just standing here? What did I do? I didn't cut this out! Oh, God. Oh, my God. What did I do? What did I do? Why did I sit here? Why did I sit here? What is going on? Okay, there we go. I'm really sorry about that. Wow, that was really bad. I'm sorry. There's probably going to be a number of those in this first episode. I'll have to be less lazy about editing, because I'm going to be perfectly frank. I cut a lot of the super noticeable stuff, but I wasn't super duper thorough on this first episode, because I wanted to get it done, and I wanted to get into the feel of recording this kind of voiceover, because it is admittedly a little strange for me. It's not like recording a normal Let's Play, right? It's not like it's not like a live stream either. I don't have the controller in my hand. Actually, while we're walking around Seven Sisters, by the way, those two chests that I opened, the money and the antidotes, can still be obtained when you re-enter Seven Sisters as a dungeon. I just grabbed them right there so that I didn't have to go through random battles to get to them. Speaking of battles and stuff, I guess something I can go over, or objective right now, because I didn't bother talking about anything. If you guys were paying attention to the cutscene, like I wasn't, sort of, Tatsuya has been skipping out on guidance counseling. He's a bit of a delinquent. I answer the questions that the guidance counselor asks as someone who doesn't really know what they want to do, but they want to find out, basically. I think that kind of represents me in a pretty solid way. I don't know. Oh my God, stop staring at the student. I'm really sorry. But so right now, you're supposed to be looking for Miss Psycho, and you kind of go on a bit of a goose chase. You talk to students on the first, second, third floor in the courtyard, and you go back to the bike racks. I guess this is just a way for the player to get used to navigation, because while this may look pretty elementary and not crazy, I'm sipping my tea. For Shin Megami Tensei, this was very different. Shin Megami Tensei games had been basically all first-person dungeon crawlers at this point, at least when it came to the console releases, I believe. And holy shit, here's another text box I spent way too much time on. Ooh, I'm a bad editor. This is going on for way too long. I'll have to... Oh, never mind. If it still hangs around way too long when I'm doing the commentary, I'll just cut it out again. But, anyways. But yeah, this was new in terms of the perspective and the navigation. So, but anyways, there's a I didn't segue into it very well, but there's a lot you can do in a playthrough of Innocent Sin. And if you're playing the PSP version, and hell, I played the PS1 version for 20 hours, it didn't really feel much different in terms of difficulty. I'm playing on hard mode, by the way. There's a lot of stuff you can do in Innocent Sin that is entirely unnecessary in terms of survival. Like getting the ultimate forms of your personas, your legendary weapons, fusing specific very powerful personas, acquiring certain fusion spells that require a very specific setup in terms of your persona and your spell order and stuff like that. We'll talk about fusion spells in the next episode when we actually start battling. I'm going to be doing a lot. I'm going to essentially be doing one of the most detailed runs of this game I've done in terms of stuff. So I want to kill all the rumor demons, which we'll talk about in the next episode. And hell, in order to collect the legendary weapons, you are going to have to kill all the rumor demons. I want to get the ultimate form of everyone's personas. And you get 5 party members in this game, but your 5th party member changes at one point in the game. So I aim to get the ultimate form of both of those characters' personas. I aim to work with the rumor system as much as possible in terms of like spreading shop rumors, and there are rumors for demon skills. Like you could have a persona, like for instance, Jack Frost gets atomic bufala through the use of rumors. Again, something we'll talk about later. I want to do all of the extra theater dungeons that were added to this version of the game. Again, we'll talk about that later. That's pretty much it. I basically want to do a whole bunch of like optional extra stuff to make me super powerful, and it's entirely unnecessary to do so. As you'll no doubt see when we start going through the first dungeon of the game, it's a pretty easy game, even on the highest difficulty. So, anyways, here we have Miss Psycho, your guidance counselor, who was actually in Persona 1, and she played a very vital role in the Snow Queen quest storyline, if I remember correctly. Which, I guess that's kind of a good thing that Innocent Sin wasn't really, like, quote-unquote localized. Even though she doesn't, like, no one name-drops Snow Queen in Innocent Sin, I don't think. I can't remember if Yukino does. I don't think Miss Psycho does. But the Snow Queen quest wasn't in the PS1 version of Persona 1. But she played... Miss Psycho was the guidance counselor there. She played a very... And by very, I mean pretty important fucking role in Snow Queen quest, if I remember correctly. And so did Yukino. Yukino is actually one of the characters you would have in your party if you do the Snow Queen quest in Persona 1, so... There's that. Also, spoilers, Yukino's back. I don't know. Yeah. But right now, she's just asking us questions about what we want to do with our life, and I actually really like this scene of Innocent Sin. I like the beginning of Innocent Sin in general, leading up to your encounter with him. Because it gives off a very, like, I guess, calm vibe. Not exactly peaceful, because you can definitely tell something weird's going on. Oh, Lisa's theme is so good. Oh, man, the music in this game is, like, top tier, in my opinion. But yeah, like I was saying, the beginning of Innocent Sin isn't, like, totally cozy. There's not, like, oh my god, I feel totally safe up until, X motherfucker assaults us at the prison. But it's more like a calm before the storm, and it kind of paints a more ideal picture of what Tatsuya's life, I guess, could have been if it continued as normal. And knowing the ending of Innocent Sin and the entirety of Eternal Punishment storyline, with Tatsuya specifically, it's actually pretty fucking saddening to replay this game, because the beginning is like, life is so much better for these characters, and... Ooh, boy. Let's just say things go tits up pretty fast. And by pretty fast, I mean within the next 30 or so minutes. But this is Lisa Silverman. Lisa Silverman is one of your party members, obviously. She is not so subtle about her feelings for Tatsuya. And if you think I'm wrong, I'm sorry, are we playing the same game? Lisa is very much in love with Tatsuya, and I don't know if canonically he reciprocates her feelings, because Tatsuya has a couple different love interest choices in this game. But don't think too much about it. It's not like a social link type thing. But Lisa and Tatsuya, they go to the same school. I believe they're in the same grade? I can't remember. But when she like ran in here screaming about like the seven, like the emblem curse, there was a rumor started potentially by someone at a rival high school, which rumors and that whole storyline and the face melting shit we'll actually see not too long from now, if I remember correctly. We'll actually talk about rumors by the end of this episode, so I hope I'm doing a good job explaining stuff, but, you know. Oh yeah, fucking Lisa is also... So, she's Caucasian? She's a white girl, but she was born in Japan. It's like, so, she's born in Japan to a white family. And that's been, like, kind of a weird thing for her to deal with growing up, I guess. I don't know. Because her father wants her to be this, like, stereotypical Japanese high schooler when she very much isn't. And I don't want to undersell these characters at all. Like, the way I talked about Lisa, she might not sound like an interesting or compelling or unique character or anything like that, but everyone in Innocent Sin has these absolutely wonderful character arcs by the end of the game. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Bear with me. Yeah, so this is... Oh man, this scene is kind of funny. Not due in part to the music choice here. But there's a particular animation after a particular sequence that Miyabi does on Ikichi's sprite that's just interesting, to say the least. But yeah. So this is Akichi Mishina. He's another party member. He's very much the Troy Baker character. It's a fucking fly in my room. Get out of here, bastard. What I mean by the Troy Baker character is, well, he's voiced by Troy Baker in this version of the game. But he's very brash. He's very much a loudmouth idiot. But much like every other loudmouth idiot in the Persona series, he's a very good guy. He's got really good intentions and really, like, a really strong moral compass. And man, the more you learn about Akichi, the more I was just like, God damn, I love this character so much. In fact, the second dungeon of the game kind of, like, I guess, is sort of like Ikichi's dungeon. You know? That's like, you know, like, Ikichi, like, there's a whole, like, little mini, like, the true beginning of Ikichi's character arc is in the second dungeon, is what I'm trying to say. And on the subject of character arcs, like, they all, like I said, they're all really great, and they all run throughout the entirety of the plot. Because, you know, if you're new to Innocent Sin, this game doesn't have social links. So, your time with your characters is all in the story, and holy shit, I hung up on this text box for way too long! I'm gonna have to cut this out. Sorry about that, folks. That's gonna be fun. Oh, boy, editing is a bitch sometimes. But yeah, so what's essentially going on here is Lisa delivered a note to Tatsuya that a girl from Seven Sisters High was kidnapped by students from Kasugayama, and if they wanted to see her again, they would have to come to Sumeru Prison. This was all a ploy, because Akichi actually runs a band. He's the vocalist of his own band, and he was looking to recruit new members, and his friends, in their earnest, were like, they thought Tatsuya would be a good fit, but they didn't know exactly how to get him over here. And so, you know, they have their own, like, you know, bro code, right there, where it's like, you know, they, like a set of rules to, like, you know, hold yourself up by, and they knowingly, you know, violated their own, like, moral code to help their friend out. And that's kind of sweet, I think. I think that's a really, like, wholesome... Like, this whole cutscene is really wholesome. It kind of plays into the thing that I said earlier, where the beginning of Innocent Sin paints a much better picture for these characters. So... This is so stupid, I might cry. I'm trying to, because like I had just recently played the PS1 version for the first time, and the PS1 version was done using an English translation patch, because like I said, it never came out in America, so it never got translated officially, and this scene in particular had some, like, interesting differences. But I will say, the one guy who did the translation is, he's a god. Like, he did a pretty damn good job translating the game. Undie boss. I don't even know what to say about that. Akechi and Lisa kind of have a little bit of a spat throughout most of the game, but it's really cute. I like it a lot. Michelle's getting pissed, and I'm also getting pissed off at past me because I'm hanging up on these text boxes for way too fucking long. Ooh. Undie. I swear to God, hey, future me, when you're editing the next episode of Innocent Sin, can you, like, maybe actually not be lazy with your editing process and, like, pay attention? Because, like, Jesus Christ, this is getting ridiculous. But yeah, so this is where we learned that Akechi is also a Persona user. But then again, we didn't know that our two characters were Persona users. But okay, me, you can advance the text box. So Akechi challenges you to a fight, and this isn't really a fight. It's just a glorified cutscene. But you get to listen to the amazing boss battle theme.
Come, Deathbringer!
I am Radamanthus, the judge of the Netherworld. I shall sever your foes' sins with my blade of judgment.
I love it. Splish sploosh. The voice acting, I don't think is bad. I think it's pretty good.
Seriously?
Especially compared to Eternal Punishment on PS1.
I am Eros. My golden arrows
which was kind of hokey, but still pretty good.
I shall be your strength.
But like this voice acting is like unironically, I think is legitimately pretty good. And I would honestly probably pay pretty good money to hear this cast do a full like voiceover. This English dub cast to do like a full voiceover of Innocent Sin.
Fear not. Take my hand.
Tatsuya's like, what the fuck is this?
I am thou. Thou art I. From the sea of thy soul.
So, that's not the Persona on the front cover.
Burns away impurity.
What is Volcanus? Nah, we'll see Apollo. No, there goes my namesake. No, but we'll see Apollo. Ooh, we'll see Apollo by the end game. Won't get to see him for super, super long, but you know, we'll see him. On this utterly psychedelic trip through the realm between consciousness and unconsciousness, we're gonna meet our, well, I guess not a familiar butterfly faced friend, because he's not so familiar because we haven't done Persona 1 yet. Shut up. But he is familiar if you did play Persona 1, so Baba Booey. But his name is Philemon. He is, well, I'll let him explain who he is. So I really, 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 really love Innocent Sin's music. It's fantastic. So this is Philemon. Philemon is interesting. I don't know how to explain him, but he is sort of like... Okay, how I was about to describe Philemon almost just about spoiled the entire story. But Philemon is basically the man who bestows upon you the power of Persona. In the first game, you get the power of Persona because you can awaken in this realm and remember who you are. So Philemon's like, hey bro, boom, now you got a demon in you, go kill shit. But these characters have had their personas for an amount of time greater than 5 minutes, we'll just say. But Philemon also sets us off on our quest, sort of. He informs us that there it is! What is she doing? Look at her sprite! Top 5 reasons why Innocent Sin needs to get a 3D remake is the cutscenes. I still think the cutscenes are fine. They have a PS1 charm to them. But anyways, Philemon informed us that we need to use our personas to solve the mystery of why rumors are becoming reality in Sumeru City. And I want to say, while I'm hanging up on... Okay, never mind. I want to say, that concept alone sold me on Innocent Sin as a story. It's a very similar thing actually happened to me when I first played Persona 3 because of the Dark Hour. It was a really cool concept. Speaking of interesting concepts, in an effort to prove to themselves that what they saw was real, they're going to do something called the Joker game, which bears a striking resemblance to the Persona game that your class plays in the first Persona. God, Jesus Christ. But essentially you call your own phone number and you're offered a deal, basically. It goes like this. Upon his appearance, you inform Joker of your truest desires, what you want most from life. Should you fail to do so, and, well, you'll see. Let's just say it doesn't end pretty for you or anyone else involved. This concept is brought back in Eternal Punishment, and in my opinion, it's a bit more sinister, and the consequences, or like the cost, essentially, is, I think, not as steep, but way more unnerving. If you've played Eternal Punishment, you know what I'm talking about, and if you've played Eternal Punishment, you're a goat. So just... Hello? She's like fucking freaking out because someone picked up on the other line. I would actually shit my pants. Like if I dialed my own phone number and this motherfucker was standing in front of me, I would shit my pants. Like, ooh. But this is Joker, not that Joker. For the time being, Joker is our primary antagonist. He's rumored to grant one's dreams. Why he does this and who he is a complete mystery. Said mystery is actually incredibly depressing. The actual reason behind this game's name, Innocent Sin, is painful. And to say that Innocent Sin's story is a sad one by the time you reach its closing act, I think would be an understatement. And I'll say this right now: if you think Eternal Punishment is going to be any happier, ooh, wow. So these characters failed. They spoiled their trump card, and the depressing part about, like, the way Joker works is, like, it kind of makes sense. Your trump card is supposed to be your ace in the hole, your last straw, the end-all, be-all to your game, and you spoiled it, so what's the point in continuing? And we'll learn here in, like, 2 minutes why Lisa was spared. But essentially what happened is Ikichi's friends are now Shadow Men. And they're not exactly dead, but completely forgotten, as Joker just said. In fact, the only people in this room who know them, who remember them anymore, are Joker, Lisa, Tatsuya, and Ikichi. It's really depressing to think about. And it gets even sadder if you decide to talk to those three after this cutscene, like I choose to do. So Joker, being Joker and wanting to fucking kill the shit out of us, challenges us to a fight. And, well... I could have sworn there was voice acting right there. I don't remember. Oh, those things. I'm not gonna voice act. Actually, never mind them. Ora. I would... like, if I hadn't just collapsed out of fear after seeing him appear after I call my own phone number, this whole scenario would have, like... I would have just died if I had lived to this point. I've been like... My heart would have just exploded. Because, like, how the fuck am I gonna process this? Like, there is so much shit. The group tries a fusion spell. A lot of idea, but it's much too weak. You'll never best me with such a...
Lisa Silverman, and you, the thief. It's time you died. Cannot escape the wheel of fortune.
Those eyes. You haven't changed. What kind of dreams did you build on the corpses of people's ideals? Tatsuya's just like, fuck if I know, bro, let go of my neck! I need that! Dude looks mildly annoyed. Okay, that one cut a little deep, Joker. Fuck you. You know, just, for being real, I act confident about what I think I want to do with my life, but kind of like an ongoing struggle that I've dealt with for a long time, as I legitimately have no idea what I want to do with the next 40 or so years, and that's equally depressing and equally terrifying to me, even saying it out loud. Dog, what did I just drop? I'm just getting wrapped up in listening to the music and watching it. It's... So here, Joker... So, according to Joker, Lisa, Tatsuya, and Ikichi know him. They have a connection to him. And there was some sin that they committed against him. A crime. A personal crime, if you will. And he doesn't wish to kill them until they remember why he's going to kill them. So, he lets you go for now. He doesn't, like, actively try to stop things from killing you, but he just kind of leaves you up to your own devices. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. I might, who knows. This scene is always a little hard to watch. Because it's like... You can already glean so much about the kind of relationship that Ikichi had with these guys. And now... they're gone. For good. At least for now, I think. Also, I hung on the text box for way too long, but it's just a really sad thought to think about. And it's not like, you know, a friend moved away and you don't get to see him anymore. you can see them, you know them, but they're shadows of their former self, quite literally. They feel they don't have the need for their own ideals and dreams anymore, so they're just fit to stand there until they die. And I'm just sitting here... Okay, there we go. I think this scene is like an incredible way to... Okay, there was a mouse cursor. By the way, I'm capturing this with an emulator. Why am I doing this with an emulator? I do actually own the game digitally on the PSN. Have it downloaded on my PlayStation TV right now, actually. But I'm capturing this on emulator because it's just easier. When I sit down to record Innocent Sin, I just gotta boot up OBS and boot up PPSSPP. I don't have to make sure I have the right memory card put into my PlayStation TV. I don't have to make sure that I have the right hardware set up. That's probably going to change for Eternal Punishment. I'm probably going to play Eternal Punishment on my PS3. So Tatsuya decides to just... He's not going to sit around and watch this anymore. And... Of course, Ikichi's not going to let him go alone, and Lisa's like, the fuck are you guys doing? And she... Okay, Lisa... The police are not going to help you, because for one thing, the police aren't going to fucking believe you. I mean... Hey, they might believe you, considering Sumeru. But, you know... But the characters in their... I guess in their collective moment of, like, fear and pain, I guess more so pain on Akichi's part because he lost his friends, they decide, we're going to do this. We're going to go after... We're going to chase down Joker and figure out why the fuck he wants to kill us and why Akichi's friends lost their life. So... And right there, without knowing... Like, if I can pull into the deepest recesses of my brain, when I got to this point at the beginning of Innocent Sin, that's when it hit me that I was like, I need to finish this game. Because the simple idea of Joker having the ability to, like, make rumors come true, bring your truest, innermost desires to life at the cost of your soul, and this all-powerful being having some sort of intimate connection with the party, I was like, I gotta know. And I think that's what really gets me about Innocent Sin, is it strikes me as this, like, super compelling and super interesting sort of mystery just, like, right away. So, and you'll hear me praise this game's story a lot. But anyways, since I probably was distracting you with my beautiful voice, overhearing our party's desire to go chase down and kill Joker and arm up, to do so, Cozy suggests following up on a potential rumor that the ramen shop owner nearby happens to be an ex-spy? Essentially, like, I don't know how you'd say that without sounding awkward, but she used to be, like, a secret agent, and, like, a secret agent, like, arms dealer type of person. So, rumor has it that she'll sell you weapons if you eat a particularly shitty dish from a restaurant. So, that's where we go first. The way the names of the dishes, like the strawberry tanmen, sounds disgusting. The idea of, like, strawberry ramen, ugh. I believe Tadashi was actually a character in the first Persona, but like I said, it's been so long, so I couldn't tell you even if I wanted to. Man. Like, there's so many songs in this game that I could hear, like, literally half a second of, and I could go, that's Alba Park, that's Zodiac, that's Seven Sisters, that's the battle theme, that's the main theme, that's the map theme, that's the map theme after blah blah blah. That's boss fight theme. That's sad theme. Like, I can identify, like, most of the songs in this game. Like, it sounds... That's the thing about Persona 2's soundtrack for both games. And I think Mega 10 as a whole, it's very distinct sounding. And while a lot of mainline Mega 10 music might kind of sound similar, like, I mean, for God's sakes, Old Enemy and the Amala Network battle theme from SMT If and SMT Nocturne sound very similar. But it's such a distinct, like, sound, I guess. Like, I'm not a music person, you know. Like, I'm not a composer. I'm not a band student. Like, I'm not studying music theory, so I don't know how to articulate it super well. But you know what I mean. Jesus Christ, I'm 44 minutes into this episode, and I'm like, yeah, I promise 57 minutes is not the standard. I just wanted to get as much of the first episode out of the way as possible. So this is Tamaki. She is, like the description said, a devil summoner. What's a devil summoner?
Well, you can find out if you play the SMT game that was never localized. SMT Devil Summoner. Or you can play Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, which I don't think was localized yet. Sorry.
Also, I'm looking at Audacity right now, and like the sound, like that looked like it sounded really loud. I apologize for that. But it's like, wow. But yeah, so Devil Summoner, like here's my thing. I'm pretty sure Persona, Shin Megami Tensei If, and the modern Devil Summoner games share the same universe. And I'm going to assume that the Raito Kuzunoa duology and by modern Devil Summoner games, I mean the Devil Summoners that take place not in feudal Japan. Not feudal Japan, but like, you know what I mean. I'm gonna assume they're all linked. And one of the coolest things about Persona 1 and both 2s is like you can see a bit of that universe still kind of bleeding over. You know, Common talks about Devil Summoners, there's SMTF characters, and then you've also got the Kuzunoa Detective Agency, like, you know what I mean. It's just really cool, like, not like obvious connections and references, but they're there, right? That's something that I really love about, I guess, Persona in general, is while Persona 3 has a few cute nods to the 2 duology, it doesn't, like, directly address them, despite the fact that I'm pretty sure, like, Nanjo's fucking, like, corporation and the Kirijo group and all that shit, I don't know. I haven't played Persona 3 in so long, so disregard everything I just said about that, I guess. But Persona 3, 4, and 5 have some really cute connection, like, minor connections and references to each other, and it's nice to see. But yeah. So, I didn't address anything that happened in that cutscene, because I started going on a Megami Tensei tangent. But basically, the Kuzunoa Detective Agency is where you go to spread rumors, because rumors are becoming reality. So we go there to spread the rumor that the ramen shop owner is an ex-spy who sells weapons if you eat the worst dish on the menu. And the Kuzunoa Detective Agency is kind of... It's much like a regular shop, because we'll be collecting a lot of rumors from what's called rumor mongerers throughout the city, and after you spread this first rumor, they all cost money to spread from there on out. Cash isn't hard to come by in Innocent Sin, though. It just takes a little bit of work. So, yeah. But you can spread all kinds of rumors about, like I said, rumor demons you can specifically fight if you've spread a rumor that they exist. You can spread rumors to alter shop contents and their price. So, like, I think every shop has multiple rumors about... and this is actually one of the negatives I have towards Innocent Sin. So, every shop in the game has, like, 1 billion different rumors about it. And they all relate to the quality of goods and the price. But why would you not choose best gear, but it's the most expensive? This is something that doesn't exist in Eternal Punishment. Thank God. But suffice to say, when I spread a rumor about a shop, it'll be the rumor that gets me the best gear, basically. And here I'm just going through my menus to look at my weapons. Ooh, I gotta use... Okay, we're getting very close to the end of this episode. Body, you can chill out. Yeah, so I take a quick pit stop to the Velvet Room just to get this little introductory cutscene over with. I can't make any new personas. We'll talk about how you make new personas later, if this cutscene doesn't address it. Because it's like this first episode was mostly me like spitballing about like the game and how much I love it. But the next episode we're actually going to dive a lot into the mechanics, because while Innocent Sin isn't a hard game, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll be a little bit more detailed. This is one of the easiest games I've ever played. Bar none. Well, not bar none. I've played easier. But Innocent Sin, I'm not trying to flex. I've played this game 6 or 7 times over the years. I don't think I've ever party wiped. And I always play the game on hard mode because, you know, people told me Innocent Sin was easy, and I was like, well, I like a good challenge, so I put the game on hard, and I never got challenged. And I was very disappointed. But I managed to fall in love enough with some of the mechanics and the world that it doesn't bother me too much. But I suppose on the other side, when I was bitching about the ridiculous amount of rumors every shop has, and Johnny brought this up at the end of the Super Gaming Brothers Let's Play Persona 2 Innocent Sin, they could be good for a challenge run where you only go for the worst equipment. I don't know why I'm scrolling through this. You don't have any cards? I'm not even going to address the cards until the next episode. Leave the Velvet Room before I accidentally address them this episode. One thing that Eternal Punishment... I don't actually remember if Eternal Punishment added this feature, but I know Innocent Sin PSP did. I believe with, like, every shop, you have the ability to... I literally walk in and walk out because I'm like my thought process was literally, why the fuck did I walk in here? I'm just gonna spread the rumor that changes the equipment after the first dungeon anyways, so... If I remember correctly, this song is actually telling you what all the items do. Go figure. Anyways, what the fuck was I saying before... Oh yeah, every merchant in the game, you walk into the shop, when you talk to the merchant, you have the option to leave, which leave just kicks you out to the map screen, so it stops you from having to close the dialogue box and then walk out and load through the map screen. It simplifies the process, which I can appreciate. You went to the wrong district, dumbass. Did I just do it again? I did it again. It's in Rengadai, not Hirosaka. You're an idiot. There it is. So, you might be wondering, why the fuck are you wasting time talking to NPCs, Apollo? Well, that's a good question, person who probably isn't asking that. As you progress through the game, NPCs on the overworld actually change their dialogue almost completely. They have different dialogue based on any number of things. Could be the most recent rumor you spread, which could be anything about a shop to a demon. It could have something to do with the last dungeon you started or finished, or it could be something completely random. But the point is, the NPC overworld dialogue always changes, and that's really cool. It lends a bit of legitimacy to the world of Innocent Sin that not a lot of RPGs have, where you kind of wonder, like, what are some of the other NPCs? What do they think about everything that's going on? And it's really cool. Once again, Innocent Sin has a fantastic world, amazing story, amazing characters, but good lord, if you're looking for a challenging RPG, please do not go into Innocent Sin thinking that's what it is. Yeah. So this cutscene, which is going to be the last thing we watch in the episode, congratulations, you made it to the end, is going to give us our first glimpse at the effect of the Seven Sisters curse. Which, the curse of the emblem was a rumor started by someone from the rival high school, as already mentioned, and you'll learn within like the next 2 or 3 episodes. I don't know if they show it in any detail in this game, but in the second disc of the PS1 version of Eternal Punishment, there was an anime trailer for an anime that never happened, where you see a clip of a girl's face melting from this very cutscene. That's what the curse does. It melts your face. It's horrific and gross. And something I love about the idea of rumors becoming reality in this game is, like Lisa was talking about it just now, but the rumors about a lot of the stuff that you actually see happen in this game have been around both in the real world and in Innocent Sin's own fictional depiction of our world for way longer than since before we started the game. So it's, again, it's really cool. I think I spent way too long in this text box. That's great. But yeah, so the next episode, we're going to be going into the first dungeon. And the first dungeon is really simple. The first couple of dungeons are pretty simple, but that's not the case for like dungeons by the end of the game. They get really lengthy and not difficult, but a little tedious. But then again, that's par for the course for any PS1 JRPG. So rumor has it that a bunch of bad shit is going to start going down, not just at Seven Sisters. 7 Playdos set the frozen time free. Has it begun? But not only Seven Sisters, but the clock moving again spells the end of the world, essentially. And with rumors becoming reality, that's not so much an old wives' tale. It's really fucking freaky to consider something like that actually happening. And hey, I do kind of like the idea that the NPCs here aren't outright denying the existence of the curse or the rumors. Oh, you can kind of see her face melt a little bit. Come on, let me see it. Let me see it. Guess we don't get to see it. Damn. She says that a lot in this game, Lisa does. Oh yeah, I was talking about like the NPCs and not dismissing what's going on. It's like in a lot of RPGs, the NPCs will dismiss like outright that crazy shit's going down, and they don't in this game. That's a good thing. But anyways, that's the end of part 1 of Innocent Sin. Congratulations, you made it through this behemoth of an opener. Aren't you proud of yourself? Pat yourself on the back, take a sip of your Brink strawberry melon iced tea, and get ready, because good fucking god, this game gets even crazier. Like the first hour of this game is like tame shit. It just escalates, and it's beautiful. So anyways, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching this, and if you watched it all the way through, you're an absolute legend. It was a bit of an endeavor to put together because I had to wait like 3-4 hours in total for everything to render, because I'm going to have to re-render it with the voiceover and everything, but anyways, join me in the next episode of Innocent Sin, where the game is afoot, and oh, what a game it is. See you next time.